Okay. Hi guys, I know it's been a long time since I did one of these, apologies. So what we're going to be having a look at today is how I would provide a dump inventory. So basically, if you needed to know how much dump room you had available at any given time in the schedule, how would you actually know, given the dependencies and everything else that would help drive the schedule? So I had this one come up earlier in the week, so I thought it would be a good example to show you. So basically what we're going to be doing is creating a copy of our current schedule in order to produce basically an alternate version of the schedule where the dumps don't have much volume in them at all. So I'll explain or I'll show you how that happens. So what we're going to do on the destination table is create a new folder called dump inventory, and we're going to create a value on this called 1. And basically, it's going to be a dump that only has 1 cube in it, as opposed to the normal size that it would have. It's become clearer, hopefully, in a little bit. So we've done that. We're going to create a copy of our schedule. And basically, the only difference between this schedule and our existing schedule, I'll call this dump inventory, the only difference is going to be which field we use for coming up on this one, scheduled volume, is the destination capacity field. So we're going to set that to be the 1 field. Before I copied this, actually, I wanted to do one more thing. So what we're going to do in our custom fields is create a custom field called actual dump volume. And this is going to be, we can find it here, whatever your normal dump field is. Might help if I just typed in volume here. We'll go with the scheduled volume. That's what we use in this particular model, multiplied by the destination percentage filled. It's the destination equivalent of source percentage completed. Alright, so we're going to take that custom field and make sure that it's present in both models. We'll rebuild the schedule results for this one. We're just going to get rid of the autosave prompt and rerun both of those. So we're going to run the dump inventory case, which hasn't been run yet, and we're going to run the normal case if it hasn't already been run. And I just want to show you briefly what happens here with the dump inventory version. So basically what will happen is very early on in this particular model, where I have a lot of available dump room, basically everything will get filled up in the first minute or first couple of days, and that's because every single one of these records is worth 1. Now, you note my dependencies are not great here. I probably should have a better stagger, but for the purposes of this, it shows that basically all of this material becomes inventory or classed as inventory at the very beginning, whereas in my regular model, you'll see that all of this fills up a little less quickly. So what's going to be happening in order to compare these two is I want to do this in my main case, so that basically if in the future I need to reproduce this case, I can copy and paste the main demo and just rename it to dump inventory or whatever name that I settle in on. So basically what I'm going to do here in my main demo is I'm just going to set up the normal, I'm going to go case, call this one dump inventory case, and then my case, although this one's not as important. We'll go with a start date and then a reporting period. And so in here, this will be called dump inventory. This will be called main demo. This can be a fixed date, or you can use a formula. For this one, I may as well just use the formula, which will be the schedule start date. And then the reporting period, I think my reporting period is called monthly, but let's just double check. Yep. So monthly. And then what I like to do with every spreadsheet I ever generate is start with a, where are we, reporting levels, start with period index at date. And so we're going to grab the date. This is not super important, but we're going to untick current case. and you'll see that it says monthly. I'm going to take that, I'm going to hard code that to that point. You've got a date that's hard entered. I'm going to replace with that date there, and I've also got the name of my case, so I'm going to put that there. So all three of those are going to be hard referenced. And the first index for this one is 0, because this model's a demo. And then from here on out, I'm just going to go that number plus 1, do a little bit more to help build it up. The benefit being is if I change this date to say the 1st of the 1st, 2020, you'll see those indexes or indices move forward immediately. So I'm going to also grab reporting period start date at index. Once again, unticking current case, not super important. Once again, we take the monthly, we hard code it. Actually, I'm going to do a find replace in a second to make it faster. And then we'll do one more, which is reporting level name at index, just so that we can have a nice, easy to read schedule. So I'm going to take that one, and basically I'm going to do a find replace of monthly with, what is it, B4. And you'll see that one, replace that one with that one. Actually, that's going to be, I'm going to make that a reference to the 3 but not the D, so that I can drag it out. Same with this one. Replace main demo with my link. I know it's a little sluggish to get these going to start with, but the benefit being is once they're set up properly, they're nice and easy to manage. So there's our nice looking name. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to look at those two schedule results for the actual dump volume. So I'm going to make sure I untick use current case. I'm going to change my case to dump inventory. I'm going to change my value to, I'm just going to start typing actual to get the actual dump volume. The filter, I might filter it based on each pit. So maybe I want to see it by, or each dump. So if I go down to, I've got my 4, should have 5 different ones. Here we go. And I'll do 5 different layers here. Safe, yeah, just in case. It's always easy to do safe. And then reporting level, we'll hard code this in a moment as well. Okay. So actual dump volume that gets done in that month from that Bravo in pit. So we're going to take actual dump volume. We can probably leave actual dump volume there. Destination dump equals destination Bravo. We're going to put that over here so we can do a few different versions easily. And then we'll take out that reference and put it here. We're going to link the C but not the 6, because as we drag down that's going to change. Dump inventory case, we're going to hard code to here. I'll provide a copy of this spreadsheet so you can see the setup. And you can just change it yourself if you don't want to go through the setup. That one gets linked to there. Monthly gets linked to here. Once we've got a handful more of these, it's going to be a lot faster to generate. Okay, so basically from here on out, we can drag this down. Which thing's not coming along for the ride properly? The date. I didn't link the date properly. So the date there is, should have linked the 4 but not the D. Let's try that again. Much better. And then if we change every second reference to my demo, the main demo instead of my case, so we'll just take this one and move it down. So we can take that, basically, hopefully Excel just does the inbuilt one does a nice copy paste of that. And then we can change these by using the filter expression builder and just change these to be the different source areas. So we'll do that a couple more times. You can type these out if you feel like it's faster. Filter expression. Hopefully the final product makes it clear what we're getting at here. And then format one more. That one there. Okay, so we're just going to do a quick bit of copy paste here to fill them out. Okay, so what we've got here is potential. an actual, or what we could dump versus what we actually did dump, and this is for each of the different areas. And then if we take this, assuming that I haven't made too much of a mess of it, which I haven't, we can then go with one more column, which is going to be inventory. And we only need one of each of these now. And then basically, it's just this number. Actually, it's easier to do, for what it's worth, easier to do sums of these things from a second column. It's just the way the formula builders like to work. So we're going to lock that side of it. We're not going to lock the D, we're just going to lock the 6. And then, does that make sense? I'll work it out in a second. My instincts on this are not always good. So we're going to take the sum of that, and we're going to subtract the sum of the reference below. And if I've stuffed up that formula, I'll fix it in a moment. Hopefully when I drag it down, it's right. Nope, I locked the wrong thing. So let's just fix that up. Much better. Okay. Oh, I still have missed something on my locking. Do I need to lock any of them? Yes, I need to lock D. This is why doing demos on the fly sometimes is a little bit of a problem. I think maybe that will do the job, and then we drag that out. Yep. That one's looking good. And then I think I'll just change them manually. I think the thing that I'm missing here is that I should be locking the 6, the E of that one. Drag that one down. Excel gurus are going to be watching me having a laugh at how bad I am at this. In fact, I'm just going to copy and edit them manually, because this is getting to take a little bit too long. Alright, so we're just going to drag that one down here. Looks like I got one of them. One of them right. Anyway, are these ones right? They are. That one's right. I think the thing I'm tripping myself up on is they should be moving 2 at a time. So let's just edit them manually. And then 9 and 9. This one will be 10 and 11. Just a tiny bit more time. Should be 10. 11. 11. I'd help if I typed the right thing here. 9, 6, 8, 10, 11. I'm going to leave. That should be an 11 as well. That one looks good. That one doesn't look good. In fact, for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to put up the final version in a little bit. However, so what we're going to do here is drag them out, finish them off, and show what information that actually provides. So basically, as we go through the dump, so you can see the Bravo input dump, which we start to use, you'll note that the inventory for that, if the formula had worked, apologies for this one. So Let's just leave that unlocked. Much better. So if we just focus in on that Bravo in-pit dump, and you forgive me for my failed attempts to use Excel, we'll plug in number, use 1000 separator, make it a little bit easier to read. So we start out with 39 million cubes, and you'll see that as we start to use that inventory that we've got available to us drops down. So anytime we use any of these, we started with 8 million available here. It might help if my formulas use the right cells. So that one there is meant to be for drag that one out as well. And as we start to pull those down, you can see our inventory drops off to basically nil. At that point, there's a very small amount. This 44 might just be a rounding error with the numbers this big and the calculations that we're doing. There's possibly a small rounding error here. I'd have to look into it. But yeah, basically the purpose of this is just so that you can get an idea of how much dump space you have available at any given time. You can see you run out of pit 2 at this point. You run out of pit 1. And you can set your colors up and keep an eye on where things are going to start running a little low. So I'll finish that off. I'll upload it. Thank you for hanging with me the last couple of minutes. I know it was a bit stretch. I'll leave you with it. If there are any questions about that, please let us know. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.